Hello again, Assalamu alaikum. Hope that you will be fit and fine. So let's move to the next chapter, that is 55. And now you are able to understand the poems. Yes, you got my point. You always got it. Because understanding a poem is a very great technique for you all. So how you are going to identify some passages? We have discussed before in the previous lecture that how to comprehend a passage. Now it's time for the poem. I hope that this is going to be the easiest lecture for you, because to understand a poem is much easier than the comprehension, because these are very tricky parts of your life. Let's move to the 7 steps first. I have written all the 7 steps here to understand how to comprehend a poem. The first thing must be set up the poem, that how the poem has been set up by a writer, by a poet obviously, because there are some settings of the poem. It could be of the 14 lines, that is known as sonnet. It could be 7 lines that shows a song kind of rhythm, or it could be depends upon 2 lines in the 2 statements. It shows some poetry kind of things for us. So this is going to be the setup of the poem. Number 2 point is read poem twice. Remember that if you are going to comprehend the poem, it is your duty to read the poem twice. Number 3, identify speaker, that who is the speaker of the poem? The person himself who is writing the poem, or someone else, or he is talking about someone else. He is describing someone else, or he is giving a description of the place, or some other personality or a thing, or how he is giving his own autobiography. So the next point is identify the setting. The setting of the poem is just like the setup of the poem, that how the poem has been set it up. We will continue this point with the identification of the mood, that how the poem has been set up, whether the poet started it with a very happy mood and ended it up with a sad mood, or he started it with the sad mood and ended it in a happy mood. So this is going to be the mood of the poet or the poetess. The next point is the summarization, that how you are going to summarize it. It will just go like you have done your previous comprehension. I told you in that it should be summarized in a good way. You know that what is the moral of this poem, how the poet wants to tell us some important message to. Then next point, put the poem in action by drawing a picture in your mind, or if you are able to draw the picture on some paper, it will be very helpful for you. That put all the words of the poet in a very good way, so that a pictorial image will be helpful for you to identify all the images of the poem. So how? Let's see. I would like to give you one example like this. I have selected a very beautiful poem for you as a help. See this. It's an image of the zoo. I can see very beautiful and very cute animals over there. The poem is, be careful what you say or do when you visit the animals at the zoo. Don't make fun of the camel's hump. He is very proud of his noble bump. Wow, what a nice poem, and it's a very short poem for you to help you out. I can see the setup of the poem in a very short way, and I can see that I have read the poem only once, but second time will be read by you. Identify the speaker. Who is the speaker? The poet. The poet itself is the speaker. He is telling us, giving us advice of the visit to the zoo. Then identify the setting. It's very good. I can see a good mood, a happy mood of the poet. Summarization is that how to behave with the animals at the zoo. Then I have seen that how the poet has put the poem in action. I can see the pictures over there, and I am able to understand that it should be about the animals and the visit to the zoo. Let's see. If I'll make the questions of this poem for you, I will give you number 1 question, like, what is the place described? Zoo. Obviously, you are right. Number 2, tell me some rhyming words. Do you know what are the rhyming words? Yes, that gives us some rhythm. So, do, who, all those words are your rhyming words. So, what are the rhyming words in this poem? Can you all see? Take your yellow or green highlighters and start underlining them. Do, zoo, hump, bump. These are the rhyming words that make a sound of the poem for the children. Number 3 question will be, name the animal mentioned. Only one animal has been mentioned in this poem, and that is camel. Exactly, you got my point. So I hope that now you can do very well. Let's move to page number 230. On this page, there is my favorite poem and everyone's favorite poem written by William Wordsworth. This is the poem of the William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was the poet of nature. He loved the nature. He loved writing poetry about the nature. So let's see that he has written about the beautiful daffodils, the flowers of the daffodils. What he has written here, let's see. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all the once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So next is continues as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads, sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth they show to me had brought. For oft, the meaning of oft here is often, because this is an old English. For oft when on my couch I lie, they flash upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. This was the poem of William Wordsworth. What have we learned from this poem? Let's summarize it. Let's see the setup of the poem. In the first stanza, we have seen that the poet is not so happy. He has compared himself with a lonely cloud who is wandering over the hills, and he is so sad. But in the next stanza, second stanza, he started comparing the daffodils with the stars, with the Milky Way, that he started enjoying those daffodils. In the third paragraph, in the third stanza, we come to know that the poet was so happy with them, so happy that he was even thinking about that what wealth they has brought to him. He is so happy. Even he is happy in the fourth stanza, that he told that whenever he is alone and he is sad, he think about those daffodils and he became happy. So this was his wonderful visit of the lake and the trees and some daffodils and some beautiful lake. So let's move to page number 231. Here on this page you can see choose the correct answers for the following questions. Let's see. So the question number 1 is I wandered lonely as a cloud. To whom I is referred in this poem, in this line? To whom? Think about it. Hills? No. Flowers? No. Poet? Yes. Or daffodils? No. The poet is talking about himself. So it shows that I is stands for the poet. Let's see question number 2. What lies beside the lake and beneath the trees? Crowd of daffodils? Obviously. Crowd of stars? No. Crowd of people? No. Or the crowd of poet's friend? There was no friend of poet. So the first option A is the right answer. Let's move to the number 3 question. Which word in the poem means cheerful? Pensive? No, pensive means sad. Gazed? No, gazed means to stare something. Glance means just a look. No. And number D option, that is jogant. Jogant means happy. Exactly, that's the right answer. Number 5, the poet compares the daffodils to number A, margin of bay. No, he compared margin of bay with the line of the daffodils. Number 2, host, a group of daffodils. Exactly, this is your collective noun. Number 3, cloud. No, he compared himself to the cloud. Number 4, Milky Way. No, because he just told us about the situation of the daffodils, that they were looking like the Milky Way. So, number 5 and the last question for you. What fills the heart of poet with pleasure? Number 1, Milky Way. No. Number 2, dancing daffodils. Yes, that's the right answer. And pensive mood or vales and hills are not the correct one. So I hope that now you can do all the poems of comprehension to your own. So best of luck and Allah Hafiz. See you in the next lecture.